a study of God's creation, filled with purpose, direction, and consequence. Welcome to this series of videos that summarizes the approach and key points for the book, ebook, iBook, and free Android cell phone app by the same name. Information on how to get that resource is at the end of the video. Whether you are an agnostic, an unbeliever, or a Christian, we invite you to take a glimpse at a foundational subject. Why is it foundational? Because, where you think you come from and where your identity lies are based on core beliefs. Is it sound? Are you confident about who you are? We have interviewed children, talked to many adults, and looked at studies. Most people are not sure about the answers to these questions. Suicides continue to rise. Life seems to get cheaper by the decade. Human behavior is not improving. Why? The foundation, if there is one, is failing. Does it need to be replaced with something better? Schools around the world now teach one thing as our foundation: we are living beings at the top of the heap. Many quotes are used. A popular one is this: all of the rocky and metallic material we stand on, the iron in our blood, the calcium in our teeth, the carbon in our genes were produced billions of years ago in the interior of a red giant star. We are made of star stuff. Carl Sagan, The Cosmic Connection, 1973. From 4th grade and up in secular books, children are told they came from something less than human, that came from something like pond scum. That special pond scum, which came from a non-living mixture, came from stardust. The stardust came from some version of the Big Bang. Is it true? The ramifications are incredible. It follows that the Earth is only accidentally ideal for us. Aliens should abound throughout the universe, even if we cannot find them. Meanwhile, the young increasingly have identity crises. Human behavior continues its abysmal history of behavior as we meander forward, and the statistics of destruction continue to increase. Classes to bolster the human ego abound, reaching to elementary grades. How do we know this foundation is true? Is it science? Who was there at the beginning when the first pond scum became living? The answer is, no one was there. The assumptions are huge, which include the assumptions about time dating techniques and layers of rock being equated to long ages. Because of the impossibilities of self-generating life over a short time, the timeline becomes billions of years. You cannot experiment with the distant past. So is that picture, which is not scientifically confirmed, correct? Many believe it, though not all, so nearly every institution on the planet says this is our foundation. It is not working. There is another paradigm: biblical creation. The Bible is the most published and disseminated book in the world. Its history has been archaeologically verified repeatedly. One does not have to be a believer to examine what it says, which remains radical to this day. Furthermore, when it comes to where we came from, where we are, and where we are going, it is plain, succinct, sometimes poetic, but, in all cases, penetrating and accurate. Its foundation begins with Genesis, and it is the only key historical ancient reference that definitively begins with a concrete picture of what happened at the beginning. The first book of the Bible, Genesis, includes a perfect creation generated by the God of the Bible, ruined by choices made by the first humans, and further corrupted by humankind until the Creator calls for a worldwide flood. The worldwide flood yielded layers of sedimentary rock over most of the Earth's surface and the violence found in the fossil record. This view is virtually outlawed in some nations, snubbed by many others, and refused by most people. But remember, the foundation laid by most secular institutions is not working. Things are not getting better. We know from genetics that, as a human race, we are not getting better. The opposite is occurring. We know now that the planets are each unique, and the Earth the most unique of all, so the popular theory of origins for the solar system taught to the young does not work. The information contained in the single cell is incredibly complex, functions are irreducible, and the basic system cannot have evolved. Complex information does not self-generate. We also know that something happened on the order of a worldwide catastrophe, which is verified from thousands of new discoveries in the fossil world, from the highest mountains to the depths of seabeds, and the confirmed presence of sedimentary rock layers on most of the Earth's surface. However, any concept that looks like the Genesis flood or refers to the Bible is no longer permitted in almost all institutions. Why? Why such a fear or refusal to consider that perhaps the Bible is right? Perhaps our identity, which biblical creation states, is critically linked to the Creator, and any worldview outside of that does not work very well. So, we invite you to enjoy the series, and consider the ramifications. If you have questions or want to study further, you can download the free app for Android cell phones. Then you can grab the book, the Bible, which is so refused or even considered in so many institutions. You can examine for yourself why it is such a different foundation than that of naturalism and evolution that have been taught for a century. Why not take a look, consider, and question on your own? Could it be true? We can assure you that it is. There is hope, and it springs from a foundation that is firm, laid by the Creator, who beckons people to choose. The series is simply extractions from the resource in various units and lessons. Bible references are kept to a minimum and summaries of key points are brief. This is only an introduction to the full resource, which guides the reader through more detail. If you get the full resource, the Bible references that speak to the biblical foundation are presented, the biblical worldview is compared to the naturalistic picture that nearly everyone has been taught, and evidence is reviewed that point to the truth of the Bible. So, did you come from stardust, or pond scum, or something less than human? We are here to say unequivocally, those popular notions are not true, are not supported by good empirical science, and are not accurate with respect to a rational view of mankind's history. We hope you enjoy the series. For the Android cell phone app, go to Google Play and type Creation Study in the search window. Or, here is the direct link. For information on the printed and soft version of the resources, go to this link. Book or ebook information is at this link. You can contact us through the contact page below.